What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, highly sought out, highly talented, highly gifted, rising junior featherweight, 126 pounder, Shakur Stevenson, has blasted Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, Bob Arum, and Oscar De La Hoya. Says all this talk about being on the other side of the street is all nonsense and hurts the sport of boxing. He said it's all corny. He said it's all BS. He says, I'm tired of hearing about other side of the street. I'm a guy, I want to be in the ring with the best. I only want to be in the ring with the best. I enjoy being in the ring with the best. And all this talk about other side of the street and all this nonsense is just that, BS. He says that all these guys need to sit down, have one big meeting, settle their differences, and make it happen. He says, I'm not looking to be in the ring with just any old Joe Smoes simply because they're on other talent and other competitions on the other side of the street. This is what Shakur Stevenson had to say, right? Quote, he said, all that other side of the street blank in boxing is so trash. It takes away from the sport. I'm a boxer and I'm a boxing fan. I enjoy seeing and being in the best fighting the best. So Bob, Al, and even Eddie and Oscar need to have a big A meeting and make boxing great again. So this is what Shakur Stevenson said. We know Shakur Stevenson is very close with Terrence Bud Crawford, undefeated pound for pound king, WBO welterweight champion, and there's been plenty of talk about Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight. And there's been talk, the holdup is the other side of the street talk, right? It's preventing the fight from happening. And so Errol Spence said that he wants to clean up his side of the street, and Terrence Crawford needs to worry about his side of the street. The difference in this is this, right? Because I know people are going to cite Errol Spence for this and say Errol Spence is the one holding it up, so on and so forth. But that's simply not true. At the end of the day, Errol Spence has lateral moves to make. There's three champions. Well, there's two other champions in his division under his same banner. So regardless of other side of the street talk, if Terrence Crawford had Shawn Porter and Manny Pacquiao under top rank, Terrence Crawford wouldn't be, just pushing for the Errol Spence fight. Okay, Terrence Crawford would be looking to unify in his own division, under his own banner, right? So Errol Spence has the luxury of having, two other guys with belts with big names under his own banner. So it's just that much more easier to make. So these are lateral moves, because I know that this is going to be, the highlight of this conversation, is that Errol Spence is saying the other side of the street no. And I know people are going to say that, Errol Spence said that he wanted the easy route to getting the belt. No, he referring to it's easier to negotiate with Shawn Porter simply because Shawn Porter is on his side of the street. You understand? Opposed to having to negotiate with top-ranked Bob Arum and ESPN. So he could simply, negotiate with Shawn Porter, and it's just him and Shawn Porter because they have the same advisor, the same manager, and Al Heyman. They're under the same network, right? They don't have to worry about networks coming to agreement, right? They don't have to worry about promoters coming to agreement. They don't have to worry about all that. And this is still credible opponent with a title. Actually, Shawn Porter has that green strap, which is the most lucrative sought-out belt in all the sport of boxing. So Terrence Crawford will be, if this was the shoe was on the other foot and the roles were reversed, Terrence Crawford himself will be looking to gain that WBC title. And I said regain because Terrence Crawford was undisputed at 140, so he did at one point in time hold the WBC belt, right? Because he held all major sanctioned body belts at 140. So I said regain, right? And so the thing about this is that Terrence Crawford in this situation this is the reason why he's saying he's not ducking, because the shoe was on the other foot. Terrence Crawford would take the same route because fighting Shawn Porter is a credible opponent. It's a legacy fight, and it's for the WBC strap. And obviously fighting Manny Pacquiao, 8-division Filipino superstar champion boxer, is a huge fight. That's a mega fight. That's a big money fight that Terrence Crawford had been seeking out for quite some time. And any of the welterweights would jump at the opportunity to have and be able to lock down and secure a fight with Manny Pacquiao. So when it comes to that, with Shakur Stevenson saying that, there's no such thing as the other side of the street when it refers to them, because Errol Spence is simply making lateral moves. They're not backwards moves. See, in the case with Terrence Crawford, they're backwards moves. Terrence Crawford is fighting the Mean Machine, which is not so much of a credible opponent. I know he's 21-0 with 17 knockouts, but he's relatively unknown. Errol Spence could, if negotiations don't go the way he plans, don't go the way he wants, he still could have lateral fights. He could fight Showtime Sean Porter. That's not a backwards fight. That's not a cherry pick. He could fight Manny Pacquiao. That's not a cherry pick by any means, because Keith one-time Thurman, who was undefeated and was unified at one point in time, and once upon a time, Keith Thurman was looked at as the best welterweight in the welterweight division. So that's simply not a lateral move. Manny Pacquiao defeated Keith Thurman in clear fashion, right? In a beautiful fashion, right? So that's not lateral moves fighting Manny Pacquiao and Sean Porter. And then let's say the fight don't come to fruition with Terrence Crawford at that point in time. He still could fight Danny Swift Garcia. And that's not another not lateral move. I mean, not a step back or a cherry pick. That's another lateral move. Because these are all the credible opponents that Terrence Crawford himself needs for his legacy. So you can't knock Errol Spence for having these legacy fights, because Terrence Crawford needs these very same fights to cement his legacy. Now he's going to go into the Hall of Fame because of the accomplishment he accomplished. But if he wants to be considered one of the greatest of all time, he needs these legacy fights. He needs Danny Garcia. He needs Sean Porter. He needs Errol Spence. He needs Keith Thurman. He needs Manny Pacquiao. And so these are the fights that are available and at convenient for Errol Spence. So you can't knock Errol Spence for accepting those fights. Now, we know the biggest fight that we want to see is Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, but we can't knock Errol Spence for, collecting these belts and getting these legacy fights, because that's what they are. Sean Porter could possibly go down as a Hall of Famer. Danny Garcia most likely is going to go into the Hall of Fame. Manny Pacquiao, we know, is going into the Hall of Fame. And depending on how Keith Thurman rectified his career, he could possibly go into the Hall of Fame. So these are Hall of Fame fights. So I know, the biggest fight everybody's going to point to in a situation is going to be Errol Spence in this case. But I understand what Shakur Stevenson is saying, right? They all should sit down. But when you're talking about the only other fight that's being having issues with this situation, that's a big fight, is the Deontay Wilder-Anthony Joshua fight. Point blank and period. I'm sure that Tank Davis and Tevin Farmer. Right? But they made Tevin Farmer an offer. So it's not like they're not willing to negotiate with one another, because they made him an offer. It just wasn't an offer that he wanted to accept. But they made him an offer. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hey, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.